Suppose I'm standing for you guys on 0 on the number line. Okay, which way for you guys would be positive?
Right.
Going to your right, and negatives would be going to your left. So if I turn and I were to measure the distance to the door, okay, and I had a tape measure and it measured out to be 20 feet. Okay. Then I turned around and I measured to the window. What is that distance going to be?
Negative
20 feet. Is it going to be a negative 20 feet, Dawson?
I don't know.
Yes.
No.
Because you're going back on the number line.
If it was on the number line, it would be at negative 20 on the number line. But what is the actual distance? Do we ever measure a negative distance?
It'd be 20.
No, it'd be a distance of 20. Absolute value is the actual distance to something.
Like the actual value, no adding or negative, right?
Right. It's this. We don't have negative distances per se. You don't measure from this way. I don't measure that direction and turn around and say, okay, this is negative 7 feet. We just don't do that. Absolute value is always the positive value for a distance. Okay, and that just is introducing an idea that we're going to use to graph these additions of signed numbers.
After you're done with the absolute value, would you put it to a negative or whatever?
No, and we'll look at it, so hang on that. Here's 2 questions. Raise your hand if you want to answer it. How far is it from 0 to 4? Xavier, you can have this one, but then not the next one. 4. Carlos, how far is it from negative 4 to 0? 4. It's still 4, isn't it? That distance on the number line is measured by a positive value when you're measuring from one point to another. Okay. Here's the way that we show absolute value. We put these vertical segments, vertical line segments around the number. Okay. That indicates that we want to find the absolute value of 4. And the absolute value of 4 is the positive value of 4. So absolute value of 4 is simply 4. Okay. Then if we take the absolute value of negative 4, we still just want that positive value, and that would be 4. Okay. Absolute value of negative 4 is just simply 4. If I took the absolute value of negative 27, the absolute value of negative 27 is just going to be 27. It's always the positive of the value, not the opposite, but the positive. Okay? And that's what this is saying right here. All right, so using arrows and numbers. When we see a negative value, though, on a number line, which way do we go negative? To the left. That takes us left, and a positive goes to the right. But when and I want to start by this. We're always going to draw these out. We're using a number line and arrows to show this addition, and we start at 0. We have that negative 3. The negative indicates we're going to the left, but we're going to go a distance of 3 units to the left. So we're going to, the negative plays a part in telling us which direction to go, but we're actually only going to go the absolute value distance of 3. Okay? So we're going to go left 3, 1, 2, 3. That takes us to this point. And then the add 1, adding goes to the right from where we're at.
It'd be at 2.
One location or one distance, a distance of 1 takes us to this spot, and that makes our answer -2. So this is -3 and a +1. This is your addition shown on a number line, and you are going to be expected to do this today. Today's the only day, or this assignment's the only lesson where you're going to have to actually show this, but you are going to have to write these out on a number line like I'm doing right here.
And that's only today.
Okay. Only for today. Then on Tuesday when we go over lesson 70, we will scrap this and we'll start using the rules for adding and subtracting sign numbers.
Why not Monday?
Because we're not going to be in school Monday. We have Monday off.
What?
All right. So here we have two different problems. I'm going to do one of them on top of the number line and the other one on the bottom. This is Trammell. Would you mind making some copies of these real quick? Just enough for 25, just you in mind so that they can put those on that. Thank you. Yes?
Does PIMDOS go with negative numbers? Doesn't it?
Yes, it would be the same idea when we get to that. And we'll add that in here later, like later in different lessons down. Okay. All right, so let's first show on the number line the addition of positive 2 and positive 1. We know, every one of you know that 2 plus 1 is 3. But this is showing why that is. If we start at 0, which we do, plus 2 means we're going to the right 2 units. That takes us to this location, plus 2. And then plus 1 more is right 1 more unit, plus 1. Takes us to 3, positive 3. That's why that works. That's why addition of positive numbers, as we've been doing all along, always gives us a positive result. Now when we add two numbers that signs are both negative, and I'm going to put this one on bottom, negative 2 means we need to go to the left 2 units. 1, 2. And then we're going to go left 1 more unit. And that takes us to negative 3. What pattern could you come up with just based on these two examples about adding sign numbers? Any thoughts?
Addition.
What do you mean by that? What is the result of each of these two situations?
Adding 2 plus 1.
We're just adding the two numbers. We're adding the absolute value of each number. 2 plus 1 is 3 in both situations. But on the second one, when we added them, we got a negative. When you added two negative numbers, it gave you a negative result. Yes?
About like if it's a different sign, don't you, the one that's a bigger number, you go with that sign?
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. That's part of the rule we'll learn on Tuesday. But for now, that we're just setting this up, this is an introduction to one of the rules. If the sign, if I'm adding two numbers whose signs are the same, just add the two numbers and keep the sign. But we'll talk and have that rule, and you'll write that rule down on Tuesday. That is not your assignment. I'm going to do another example with you after I give you the assignment here. Let's do...
Can we do the A through?
Yeah, we are. Good question. A through G. And Mrs. Trammell's going to hand you each a piece of paper that you can do those on, so you don't have to draw out the number line. You'll need to add the numbers to them so that they work for you, but at least the number line's there. Eight. Whoops, I want to do one of those before then. A, B, C, D, F, G. I wanted to do 6 too, sorry. 6, 8.
Where was supposed to put G?
Whatever spots you have left over after I get done handing or assigning whatever.
Or
then-
can we just staple this to?
Where's G? Where it said, oh, wait, you don't want us to do something, right?
Correct. Let me finish, and then we can figure this out.
Oh, did you think?
13. And 15 through 26. And 30. So what's that? That leaves you a few that you can do at the start. Skip. If you want to put, what was it, A, B, C, D, F. If you want to do A through F on 1 through 5, and then do 6 and 6, then you can put G in the 7th spot.
I'll put G on
And
mine.
however, as long as you get them in there, just to make sure and show it so that whoever's grading your paper will be able to understand it and grade it easily. If you're going to do A through G on here, that's fine, just staple it to that, and you won't have to worry about putting it somewhere else. Because you won't have to draw all your own stuff in.
You said that we had a drawing these out.
Right. I'm doing what I did on the board. Start at 0. And do your arrows.
Oh, yeah.
+2, -4. What's that? I want to see today. I don't care.
I know it's a little bit of a hassle today. That's why I'm only asking you to do it today, just to practice it a little bit.
See what? Do this. Show it. Go on. So +2 and then -4. Which direction we go? Go -4. Take it to the left. 4 takes -4. So this is. No. That's why I draw a picture. You'll be able to see that if you start here and add 2, right 2, and then +/- 4, and then go back to that. Or start at 0. We go 2 places 0. And then from there, then -4. So we go back 1, 2, 4 places. Okay, you got that down. You got that down. So your answer is -2. You should go right on the positive. That's what you do. And that's what they want you to do. When the sign is different.
On which one? On E, F, and G, you do not have to draw the pictures on those. Just go off of the patterns that were developed on A, B, C, and D. Look at how you got your answers.
So we don't put on this?
You will not need to put those on that.
No.
Just A, B, C, and D. Then take from that pattern and try to figure out what you do with those other ones.
You gotta write them